Alright, so I wanted to do a little something off the dome. Uh, quick, quick little video there about our ability to evaluate ourselves, which also creates a form of evolution within our consciousness awareness. Being able to tap into the mind system, the spiritual mind system. Being able to evaluate yourself and also come into the knowing of yourself through accepting yourself, learning to love yourself from within, and then moving into the self-governance of yourself. So this is very, very important, extremely important in terms of moving consciously into what some would essentially see as, for example, like how they're doing certain algorithms now of artificial intelligence, and how they're kind of reaching like a stumbling block in terms of wanting to have its abilities to self basically learn, like self learning essentially, which is what we are essentially supposed to do, right? We're supposed to be able to evaluate ourselves, observe ourselves, observe our consciousness, feel into what may be right or wrong within ourselves, and bring that system into balance through a system of algorithms, through processing certain things within ourselves. For example, the whole thing that I talked about in my previous video about past frames of reference and being able to process certain systems, certain mind systems or mind grid systems within our past frame of reference, and then allowing that consciousness to, or allowing that processing to be now computed or processed, and bring that energy back into your system, back into your energetic system, which allows you then to propel or move forward into a more high-rise system or a upgraded version of yourself. So in the realization of yourself, the computation of yourself, the observance of yourself, you're able to upgrade your systems into a higher division of consciousness, a higher division of reality, a higher experience in your consciousness field, in your holographic structure. All of us exist in a like a bubble, if you see it as, right? You're the original source of your creation, the original source of your reality, your existence, right? Everything you see around you is a hologram, a holographic structure of the reflection which exists from within yourself. So this can be seen as the mind system. This can be seen within the actual physical body, right? So I would have talked about the microbiome within the body system, which can also be seen if you see yourself or your body, the body as earth, which it actually is in itself energetically connected to the earth, which has a biofeed interface system going on with our tree of life, as some may call it. So our tree of life is connected, which is just different divisions of our mind system through our body, right? Which would have a representation in space. So we would have different aspects of, for example, Malkuth, Earth, right? Moving into like the moon, the sun, right? Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune. And then you can also have the correlation or like a gateway into like Lyra, Vega, Arcturus, Pleiades, Sirius, right? So there's a stair stepping combination going up. So they call it the ladder of lights, or Jacob's ladder, moving up into a higher layer or level of consciousness. So on that as well, the earth has its own tree of life, or its own computation system or blueprint system, right? So yeah, so essentially we have the ability to evaluate ourselves, and this allows us to upgrade our systems. Now, what is happening now in terms of our own evolutionary process is that a lot of us are receiving, it's like an alarm system, a fail safe system that was put in place just in case, for example, just in case we slept too long. We have an alarm system that would trigger off. So right now the earth is moving through her own cycles of evolution, her own processing. She held on long enough in waiting for us to shift our awareness so that she can move up, but she's moved up into a higher division of consciousness for herself. And so now humanity has to evolve into that process of evolution within their own evolutionary process within their consciousness mind system. So this is moving out of the brain. This is moving into the body on a whole. So the body in itself is a quantum computer system. You can see it as that. The heart is like I want to say like a quantum flux capacitor, right? The gut also is a brain, so they call the gut like the second brain, where it's really like the first, and that connects into the heart, which is connected to the intuitive senses, and right. So yeah, I I noticed in actually studying a lot of um, watching a lot of the developments when it comes to quantum computers, and what they are coming up with in terms of how computers actually work. Well, the quantum computers, it brings a lot of things into perspective of how our consciousness works. Because what I do is that I bring everything inside, I bring it back into myself. So I observe a car, for example, and I say, yo, car is based on us, the digestive system, combustion chambers, and taking in nutrients, the fuels to, right? Um, look at the sun. Have a look at the moon, even, right? How the moon takes the light from the sun and reflects it, right? So in itself a mirroring state, bringing the energy into manageable waves. Right. So everything you look at it, we have a connection to trees as well. They have their own level of computation when it comes to quantum processing, that being their ability to take photons from the sun and convert them into energy. Photosynthesis, that is a quantum state. We do the same thing as well. It's very interesting. We take photons or light frequencies, which is a frequency, is a sound, and we convert that with the help of like maybe like magnesium, which a lot of people may be a bit deficient in, and we take that in, we take in those photons, those rays, and convert it into like vitamin D, which has many other uses within the body. Our body needs vitamin D. It helps with mood regulation, it helps with the immune system, which overall helps with our overall well-being, how we feel. We feel more energetic. We're able to, I notice, for example, if you soak in the sun for a little while, you maybe do a little bit of sun gazing. I notice that my body is charged up enough to actually be able to project my consciousness into other realms of existence, not just this realm. So again, back to the being able to evaluate yourself, being able to move into a quantum state of viewing yourself, being able to observe the external reality, the external hologram, then also as a reflected dream, being able to interpret what happens in our reflected view or reflected perceptive view or hologram, as like if you're doing a like interpretation of a dream, seeing it as that in itself. And I kind of see Christ consciousness as an aspect of that, being able to live lucidly, observe the reality in a lucid state, being sentient within the reality. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off, just yeah, being able to evaluate ourselves, accept ourselves, love ourselves, self-govern, right? Govern ourselves and extend that love, that awareness of who we are truly to others around us. We touch each person's lives as we have touched our own, through our higher self, through our avatar self, through our connection to our divine aspect, our divine mission, our divine purpose, our spark of creation, seeing the emanations from the very first shine of radiance, of source. And being one with that is essentially that you're being, it's like you're in the past and the it's really the future, since we're going back to source. You're essentially being in that state, observing that state of awareness, however it be for you. And bringing that perfection here. That is what we have to give the world in co-creation here on this planet. So it's true divinity, true essence of ourself, true embodiment of our higher consciousness, true. It's that feeling from the heart, and being at one with everything, being at peace within ourselves, despite the chaos going on around us right now. We know in our hearts that this is a process that the collective has to go through, has to move through. We've been in division within ourselves for so long, for too long. And in order for us to come to that realization within ourselves, a lot of this stuff needs to come up. A lot of the shadows, a lot of things unsaid on this planet, on in this reality, in this hologram. Right. So it's essentially you pressing the update switch, like your higher consciousness, your higher self. When I went into to like an aspect of embodiment within my consciousness through making the choice of actually allowing my higher self, my higher consciousness to finally expand into my body and activate my awareness in this vessel, in this hologram, this perception of the now, this perception of focus in this reality. It was you can almost see it like I would make the connection to like a quality assurance team, but you can almost see it as like what's going on now is like you got your higher consciousness, or all of our higher consciousnesses, right, tuning in and tapping in, and you're seeing all these ships. um this lady Gina, I will try to make, maybe possibly make a link in the description to one of her videos, but she has videos on actually showing like these light emanations, these ships or UFOs coming out of the sun, because the sun in itself, through either just tapping into yourself, tapping into the astral realms, the spiritual realms, or even checking texts from the past and stuff, like the sun is a portal, and these ships will come through the sun. And in certain aspects I see some of those ships, those are us. That's us. Aspects of our consciousness coming through the sun, saying, "Yo, it's time to let's take a look at the place. Let's check it out." And they look at it and they say, "Yo, y'all systems, there are a couple of systems in the pixel activations or pixel divisions that need to be upgraded through different levels of awareness. Through y'all need to look at yourself on a deeper level." And yes, we may say that these things are happening now are from, XYZ, or I'm not gonna mention any names, but if you only know and you know, then you know, right? But you can see it as an energetic shift actually occurring. I see it as that. I'm sure other people see it as that too. It's energy. It's energy. Everything follows from the spiritual realm, from the energetic realm into the physical realm. It's done deal. That's it. Straight up. That's facts. As some people say, facts. So, but what happens is that the reality, the false matrix system tries to backfeed into your system. So it's like the well, when I was evaluating myself again, you think about the programming of, for example, Santa Claus, Claustrum, right? He comes down the chimney. Where is your chimney? They backfeed the information. It's essentially the process of like lower beings existing within your bowels, bowel, coming into your holy of holies, taking over your ship. The captain has now been removed, and many people are walking around with their feet, in their brain. There certain symbols you would see. Um, I can't remember the name off the top of my head now, but you would see certain images of maybe like a being with two heads, a male and a female head, and has like snake feet, 2 feet are snakes. Now think of those two snakes, right? Like actually coming up. So the legs actually coming up and like intertwining. Boom. You got these two beings, Cain and Abel, in your head talking. Dual mind. You're dual. Instead of bringing the original king, the crystal, or queen, or kahin, back into the center, balance, above these two. So now you're not in division or like a divisive force within your consciousness. You're now in the center. You're now in that 12th sphere on the tree of life. So yeah, it's some work. It's some yeah. I mean, we have to be prepared to actually let go of certain layers of programming. It's deep. It runs deep. Even recently, I'm still removing programs from my consciousness, like certain levels of awareness that we like edge out or we marginalize because of certain levels of programming within our system. Like our consciousness, our subconscious mind is able to pick up on so many different things within our reality. So many things. We could tell when the rain gonna fall tomorrow, right? Whether it gonna fall next week. We know this. We know it, right? So, for example, like when we use the pendulum, that's you. That's all you. When we using the that's you. That's us. We tune into our intuitive sense, but some people use tools and need tools. Other people just know it. Sometimes you have to go through a level of stages. So I started out using a pendulum. After a while, I when using the pendulum, I would hear the answer in my mind, and then the pendulum would move. So the voice, I started listening to the voice more. The voice told me, yo, stop using the pendulum. You don't need that anymore. I continued to use the pendulum. Pendulum drop, bro. The voice told me, see, you gotta learn to trust yourself. And I did. And this led me to this point. So this is a very important time to begin trusting ourselves fully, completely, totally, and moving from like a thinking state to a knowing state. Again, is a step process. I don't really expect. I still going through it myself. Sometimes it moves on and off. More now is moving into like a all the time state. But yeah, moving into that self evaluation. If you need some assistance, I can. I actually offer like one-on-one sessions. Talk through. I do certain upgrades, study consciousness. Again, it's like looking at like you have Windows 10 and Macintosh and these different devices, cell phones that go through certain they need certain updates. If not, certain apps don't run properly, right? They run slow or they crash the phone. It's the same thing. The energy coming in strong, some people's system crashing. That's why at times we feel tired. We get a reaction cycle to what's going on in terms of the energy. Another example of that is if you bring in some people may not be able to handle certain information. They hear the information, they don't really understand the information, and you get sleepy, you get tired, you fall asleep. That used to happen to me plenty, a lot actually. When I used to listen to various people like Savan Bomar, Lisa Brown, different, and I would halfway, not even halfway through sometimes, 10 minutes in, bam, knockout, sleeping, video playing in the background. And so, yeah, I would tell you, like, those are the like codes. The person may be on a higher level, a higher frequency, and they just streaming. Imagine like these light codes coming out through the screen, boom, boom, boom. Your consciousness is like, right, sleep, because the ego mind, your consciousness, the conscious mind, at times can't really handle that energy. So your higher self puts you to sleep, knocks you out, so that the other mind can now take in the information on another level. So even though I was sleeping, I would wake up like, yo, the information, it there. Even on now at times, like some information comes to me and it just clicks, boom, 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 and I would be able to draw back from like certain things that I would have heard, or and just making these connections and links. And it adds up. It makes sense to me. So that's where our intelligence, our consciousness, our sentience comes in, and we begin the process of evolving. So we're going through that as a collective right now. A lot of individuals went through that. A lot of individuals are going through that now, and it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing thing. And we have to embrace it, or we should embrace it. We all have a choice, really and truly. So I just thought I'd leave it at that. Like, be open to self-evaluation, self-acceptance, self-love, self-governance. You are who you've been waiting for. There are many of us who have certain keys, many of us who have been here a little longer, who may be more aware to certain aspects, to certain degrees, who may be able to assist with certain levels of elevation in consciousness, until you reach the stage of actually realizing that you are in this co-creation. You are the creator of your reality, your life. And yeah. So, wholeness to everybody. I hope everything is well with each of you. And remember to be the calm in the storm, because that's why we're here, to raise the frequency. And we are never alone. So know that is the reality, that is the truth in it. We're here. Wholeness.